Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Once again, my name is Brandon. I'm an acting coach, and today I'm jumping back into Dianna Ankudinova. Tomorrow is a Lie. I'm here told this is a Lara Fabian cover. Really excited about that. Big Lara Fabian fan here. Love her on the channel. Lots of you out there love her as well. So I'm excited to jump into it. Love Dianna. Love her very unique voice. She has a great performance, a great stage presence. I'm excited to jump in. Also, Igor's on this one. I've heard my man Igor's on the keys, on the ivory for this performance. Excited about that too. Always love hearing him play. So now let's just jump into this one. Again, this is Dianna Ankudinova. Tomorrow is a Lie. Beautiful, beautiful set.
Never, we should not say never. We shouldn't plan another days here to make it all clear. Never, we should not surrender the silence I desire, blinded by your fears. When first caress so dream, so secretly, intensively, passionately. Tomorrow is a
Love it.
lie. Time only stands for here and now. But you see passing by, sky on the chance to fly. Tomorrow is a lie. No matter what your dreams are, you cannot run deny. Today is the day.
Look at that eye contact. That's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to go back just a little bit. I want to hear some of that again. In the comment that suggested this particular performance, I was told that she's younger here. Her English pronunciation isn't quite as clean as it is today, and that's true, but I also agree with the commenter when they said to me that it doesn't take away from the performance. I think that it's incredibly impressive, as young as she is, to be able to communicate so well non-verbally, to be able to commit so much to a performance for a song that wasn't hers, isn't written for her, she didn't write. Find a connection in that for her in a language particularly that she's not overly familiar with, one that certainly isn't her native language. To be able to take a song like that and put that much personality, emotion, to be able to really connect with it and communicate that authentically, the set's gotta say this again. It keeps striking me every time I watch one of these reactions or one of these videos from these performances of these talent shows, these TV talent music shows in another country. Their sets are way more elaborate, much more beautiful, well, very much more produced than what we get a lot of the times on the American version of these shows. I really love how far they've gone to create such an awesome space. It's really beautiful. I really love the way they're working with the fog machine, the smoke. Everything looks gorgeous. Dianna looks amazing. I like the setting. The set's very simple. It's very straightforward. Not at all plain, but it certainly gives the right atmosphere, I think, for the song, for the performance that she's giving. I'm not catching all of the lyrics. She is her enunciation is not awesome. Again, don't hold that against her at all. It's got to be incredibly difficult to perform like this in a language that's not yours. So loving it so much. I did go back a little bit. We're going to jump back some and watch a little bit more of this chorus again. We really get a lot of that really deep, round, boomy vocal that I'm used to getting from Dianna. I love it so much. And good, Igor's killing it on them keys. That's my man right there. But I'm just excited to get through toward the end of this. We haven't gotten to the climax yet. I'm certain, if I know Dianna at all, we're going to get a really big moment at some point. I'm excited to get to that. So we're just going to jump right back in. Look, I just got to stop it right there for just a second. Okay, we're going to play it. Look, this is something that's really impressive to me about Dianna. Just look at this eye contact, the expression, how honest it is, how sincere. She 100% is connected. She means what she's saying, and she's communicating with somebody. It's a beautiful.
Loves it best. dreams are emotion, shining like your spirit.
Beautiful.
Head inside your head, intensively,
Big,
passionately,
small.
infinitely.
Okay, we're going to go back and listen to that. Pay attention to the dynamics in her body as well as in the vocals. She gets big for a moment. There's a big moment. There's a sort of a snap, an explosion, and then her arms come in. Her voice shrinks in the best way, and she delivers the next line very gently. It's beautiful.
Your head,
Here we go.
intensively, passionately,
Nice.
infinitely. Tomorrow is a lie. Time only stands for here and now. But you see passing by. Scar only chance to fly. Tomorrow is a lie.
So much intensity, almost urgency.
Your dreams are, you cannot wait in life. Today is the day, believe in what you say.
A little bit of a growl. Okay, so we got a little bit of a growl that was great. There's something I'm noticing here that if you've seen any of my reactions to a young lady named Angelica Hale, I've talked about this a little bit with her as well. I'm seeing some movements that are familiar, some particular way of moving and gesturing that I've seen before from Dianna. And what that tells me is that one, that she's been trained really well, that she has gone through a process as a young person where she's had to learn to at times mimic or try to emulate emotions that a performance demands of her, and that she's incorporated those movements because they were so strictly taught, strictly learned. They were so focused on it. At some point in her career, she's incorporated a lot of these movements very naturally into her performance. And if you don't know what you're looking for, or if they're done improperly, you can see, or you could call them over-rehearsed. You could call them a little robotic. You could call them more automatic rather than genuine or in the moment expressive. But what's really awesome both about Angelica Hale and Miss Ankudinova here is that these movements, even though I can tell that they are things that are sort of muscle memory and have been rehearsed, and they're sort of their signature moves now, they're moves that just kind of come out of them naturally. They may be rehearsed, they may be learned movements, but she is able to imbue them with with enough authenticity, passion, intensity, with enough intention based on the text that she's working with, that they don't feel forced, they don't feel inauthentic, they don't feel over rehearsed, they feel genuine. And even if a move is somewhat choreographed or rehearsed, it doesn't matter as long as the intention behind it, the motivation behind creating the move, behind committing the move, is sincere and authentic. And Dianna is just so skilled at building the emotional steps to get to a place so that it feels earned, so that it feels real. I'm really impressed by her on that front, because as young as she is, I would expect her to struggle with that more. And she just doesn't. It's pretty incredible. Uniquely her right there. Look at that expression. The light flashing, so dramatic, intensity, pain. Oh, don't do that to me. You're breaking my heart.
What you say, tomorrow is a lie. Time only stands for here and now. What you see passing by, scar only chance to fly. Tomorrow is a lie. No matter what your dreams are, you cannot wait in life. Today is the day, believe in what you say.
Wow.
Believe in what you say.
Okay, hard time here. If I'm a little flummoxed, that got me all twisted around. There's a couple of things that if I were using this to teach a course, if I were using this as an example and talking to other performers to try to help them develop, there were a couple of things in that last little section that I would point out. One is right there at the end, and she's done it a couple of times in this performance. I've seen her do it before. When the emotion is lessened, when it's brought down, when it's not quite as big, she'll take a moment, she'll pick a spot, and she will move her eyes around the audience, whether it's at the different judges, different spots in the audience. You don't necessarily even have to see people out there, but taking the time to engage with different sections of the room while you're performing gives the audience, especially in a large space like this, a sense of being included, of the performance being more intimate, more personal, as though you're communicating to them, as opposed to simply singing in a space where they're close enough to overhear. It creates a personal sense, it creates a sense of trust and community of this like closeness between the performer and the audience. A very good habit to get into, a strong technique, and she does it really, really well and incredibly authentically, because it can be done strangely if you're the performer and you're giving a performance and you want it to be subtle, you want it to be natural. And she does an incredible job of just scanning the room with intention, with urgency, and drawing in different sections of the audience and making it feel more personal. The second thing that I noticed a little bit earlier on in that last little section that we looked at, I mean, come on, I want to go back and look at it, but I feel like I've done that enough. This video is getting kind of long. There's that moment when she broke down and she didn't really break, but my goodness, the look on her face, the expression of pain, of grief was so intense that it really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. One thing I will say is that the rest of the performance didn't have that intense of a feeling emotionally. It was a bit of a leap from where we were emotionally to where she was in that moment, which is fine. I maybe might want to see a little bit more of a transition. Part of it has to do with the camera work. We're getting a ton of like really wide shots and we're not seeing a bunch of her close up, which can pull away from the emotion of a performance sometimes. But there is just this moment. There's just this moment. I really, really want to take a look at it. So just for real quick, just take a look at this. Right here. The handshake. And now you see it in the eyes, in the lips, watch the chin, the nose. It's so beautiful. It is a great, honest performance. It's a great, honest expression. It was a little bit, I felt her digging for it at the beginning. Whenever the camera caught her, it was a rehearsed moment. She knew it was going to happen. She knew where she was looking. The handshake, there are things you can do physically with your body to help you find an emotional connection, because our minds and bodies, frankly, are kind of dumb. They don't know what comes first. You don't necessarily have to have the emotion come before the response, like the shallow breathing or the quivering or any of those things, the tension in the muscles. You can create the tension, you can create the breath or whatever the position physically, and that will help you to generate, help you to sort of conjure up the emotion you're looking for. And that's a little bit of what I'm seeing here. When her hands started shaking, that felt a little bit less a result of an emotion and more an end of an emotion. In other words, that was the effect she was looking to get from the emotion she wanted. And she used that motion, and she used the expression and tension in her body to help her access the emotion she wanted to convey. And she got there rather quickly, actually. And then it was very plain, very clear that that expression toward the end of that moment was honest and sincere, that it was a reaction, that the muscles in her face were reacting to the emotion that she was able to pull up. It's a great example of using that technique, of using your physicality, using your body to help you access those emotions. Look, we're not machines. I don't expect, especially as young as she is, that alone is really impressive, but I would never expect someone to simply be able to turn on and off all the time. We're people, we're complex, we're maybe even a little strange, and we're certainly a mystery the way we work. And so I think it's really, really telling of her professionalism and how strong of a performer she is, how good of a student she is, that she was able to use her physicality to access that emotion and then get to it quickly so that she could really deliver that expression to the camera in that moment under a ton of pressure, big audience, judges, I'm assuming are celebrities in front of her, also with the camera in her face projecting to I don't know how many tens of thousands of people. Big moment, and she was able to pull that off at such a young age. Incredibly impressive. Thank you so much for watching this with me. I know I rambled on quite a bit at the end there. I hope you didn't mind. I hope you found something entertaining in it. If you did, and if you enjoyed this performance, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Check the description for all my social media links, including a link to the Patreon, Discord, different ways to support the channel. I appreciate all of your attention, your time, the support that you do give, just liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. It all helps so much. I do appreciate it. We're over 25K now. Super excited about that. Thank you for being here once again. I'm going to stop rambling now. Please remember, as always, to be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.